Hello there. How are y'all doing? Okay, so as was told to you, I'm a spoken word and slam poet. And the thing is that if y'all are quiet, I'm also from Southern California. So when I'm telling a story and y'all are quiet, it makes me feel like some shit is about to go down, and I can't do that, right? Like that's just not okay. I feel okay about y'all now. So just make noise, like if you like something or whatever. Maybe not that. Maybe because I'm trying to, because I'm trying to tell a story. But like you could like. But I appreciate your enthusiasm. I feel like I'm talking to one of my aunties. Like, So anyway, my name is Ebo. I use they, them pronouns. And if you've never used those pronouns before, they're used as such. Ebo came to do one of the most amazing stories I've ever heard. They were very attractive. I really wanted to give them $20. That's how it sounds, okay? Cool. Just want to make sure that we got it. You good? Great. All right, so I'm also a youth educator, and I teach high school-aged youth, and the interesting thing about high school-aged youth is that you start seeing yourself in them, and then it gets really scary. And you're like, don't do that. I did it already. Please, God, don't do that. And then they start telling you about their relationships, and you're like, please don't do that. Because I've been there before, and you don't want to go down that road, right? But I'm trying really hard because, like, have you ever heard that, like, really, like, that quote that's like, be the one that you needed or whatever, right? And it's on the, like, backdrop of a road splitting in two or something. You probably saw it on Instagram, right? Like, so be the one you needed, and I'm always want to not lie to young people. Like, that's never a thing I want to do, and it's really hard when they ask you questions you don't want to answer. And the reason why is because when I was growing up, my stepdad, I was a very inquisitive young person. Like, I was always asking a fucking question, always asking a question. And I asked my stepdad, I said, like, well, why do we have nose hairs? And he said, and like, very proudly and confident was like, to keep the bugs out. And I was like, totally, yeah, that makes sense. Like, to keep the bugs out, right? Like, so keep the bugs out. Great. So like for very many years, y'all, like I was 6 years old and I think I was like 11 by the time this happened. So like for this many years, for 5 years, like I thought that was literally the reason why we had nose hairs, right? I was like, to keep the bugs out. I've never had a bug in my nose. Have you? Like, whatever, right? So I was like, good job, nose hairs, right? Okay, so then I'm in science class as an 11-year-old, and my science teacher's doing the thing, and we're talking about anatomy or whatever, and then my science teacher was like, nose hairs, y'all know? Do y'all know why? Okay, to filter the air we breathe. Shit, right? And so, and like you think that your parents are like the last and final word of fucking everything, right? Like, and so I was like, right? Like, so I stop lying to these people, right? And so, because like, and then you want to be like the person that's like, you don't know shit, teacher. You know what I mean? Like, public school my ass, right? And so the teacher was like, what's up? And I was like, that's not why we have nose hair. Like, I was really like, hell no, right? Like, I was like, that's not why we have nose hairs. And she was like, well, why do we have nose hairs? I was like, to keep the bugs out. And I thought I was starting a revolution in my class. Nobody was on my side about it. Everyone was like, what are you talking about, bro? And then my teacher, and as like an adult human now, when I was a kid, I didn't understand the face, but as an adult human now, the teacher was like, because like, what do you say? Like, clearly you want to believe this shit, right? Like, he was just like, okay, sure, right? And so I'm like, and she does not correct me or anything. And then I go home and like, we don't have this anymore, but I like Dewey Decimaled the books about nose hairs. Okay, thank you. I got you. because I hope that some of y'all that are young enough are like, you said computer wrong. What's a Dewey Decimal? So anyway, I went to and I looked it up and I was like, oh, my stepdad is a fucking liar, right? And I like did not trust him for years, right? Like I was just like, oh, really? I gotta clean my room, huh? Okay. All right, Dad, if that's your real name. Anyway, so I've just taken like that lesson with me as I've been a youth educator. Like, damn, I really don't want to answer that question, but I'm, right? Or when somebody asks me some shit I don't know, it's like, why we have skin? Let's look it up together. I don't fucking know, right? Like, let's look it up together, and then we have a learning experience, whatever. So one of the things that we often tell young people, especially when they're bullied and teased, is that words don't mean anything. Right? And I think that that's like the biggest bullshit lie that's ever and ever. Because like all the things that we consume, like music, like for instance, I'm a poet. Shit, like that's my whole life. What do you mean words don't mean anything? So that's one of the bigger lies that we tell young people. And I just hope that we'll just fucking stop doing that. All right, please? Okay. And so I'm gonna do like a poem and a story. So I told y'all a story. So now I'm gonna do a poem if that's okay with y'all. Is that all right with y'all? Every Sunday morning, Mikey wakes up early. Oh, shit. How about I give you a content warning? This is not going to be as, like, fun, all right? So, because I'm a poet, and I didn't become a poet because I'm happy. So, great. Every Sunday morning, Mikey wakes up early to watch the games at the park. The field is a Scrabble board. 60 to 85-year-old athletes handling alphabet tiles like Harlem Globetrotters. This was not like the chess games you see a few tables over. The breathless pausing between the knocks and knights and spawns, the clicking and ticking of clocks between silent strategy, no. This was a cipher of the elderly. 11-point grandmas turned 15-point grand masters. These were versed veterans of verbs, weathered warrior wordsmiths attaching scores to skilled combinations of random letters. His older brother, Andrew, took him to his first game on his birthday. He gave him a dictionary. On the front flap, he wrote, "This is your first weapon. Choose your words carefully. Love always, Andrew." It was the perfect size for Mikey's back pocket. Mikey swore in it like the truth, became the park bench's law enforcement, catching phony words and taking away turns like a Scrabble sheriff. He found his language, one letter tile at a time, discovering words will tell you what they are if you LISTEN, listen, 6 points. But to listen requires you to be SILENT, silent, 6 points. Just rearrange the letters. No, actually, rearrange the letters. Listen and silent, right? Yeah, got it? Cool. Your ears with the same letters can become the inlets to words if you enlist them, 6 points. 2 days later, Mikey found a letter from Andrew to a friend. It said words like John, 8 points. Like, 7 points. Awkward, 13 points. Gay, 7 points. Do you like me back? 31 points. Mikey never said a word. 4 days later, Andrew was found hung by his own belt in his bedroom. Belt, 6 points. Suicide, 10 points. When the ambulance removed Andrew from his room, Mikey found another letter. It wasn't in Andrew's writing. It said words like Andrew, 10 points. Fuck, 7 points. Faggot, 9 points. Burn, 8 points. Hell, 9 points. I'm going to tell everyone, 33 points. Mikey never said a word. At Andrew's gravesite, Mikey played Scrabble. He played words like sorry, 8 points. Brother, 12 points. Mikey wrote his brother a letter to tell him he was sorry. He was silent. Andrew, I'm sorry that I never said I love you. I'm sorry that his word score was higher, but if you'd have listened to your heart, it would have told you he was a hater. Just rearrange the letters. Did you know that there are no perfect anagrams to suicide? All I could make was dies. You will always be my perfect anagram. My Andrew, my Wander, you warned me. Sticks and stones may break our bones, but words will never hurt you now. They've lied to us all along, Andrew. Words were our first weapon, and they can kill. I'm sorry. I never said thank you. Love always, Mikey. Thank you all so much for having me. Appreciate it.